situation. I mean, there's every city in America, many cities in Canada, people are struggling, people are having, there's poverty, there's people that are facing issues that they can't deal with on their own. So there's always going to be need. But what's going on in Africa is to a whole other level. Nothing in the northern part of America compares. You're talking about access to water, shoes, medicine, young women that have a disease, the HIV virus, that if they could take a drug that costs 33 cents a day, if they could take it for 30 days, and 98% of those women won't transmit HIV to their next generation. But many millions of people are transmitting that disease to the next generation. But there's real solutions that can be had to change that. Now, the reason we wanted to do the walks was not because we wanted to preach to you guys, because everybody's busy, we've all got jobs and lives and babies. Not all of us have babies, but some of us have babies. And we all have reasons to not do stuff. I mean, we're busy. Everybody has, and I'm sure in many cases, you know, you're already doing things, whether it's for your family or for your friends. And life oftentimes doesn't make room for extracurricular activities like donating your time or money to help somebody halfway around the world. That's why we have to make time for it. You know, if you wait, the time won't show up. There will never be extra time that's like, hey, earmarked for Africa. You should spend an hour a day. You have an opportunity every day to look at what you can give. And the way we carried out these walks is to try and keep them really rough around the edges. Not put too much into the production of the walks, because we want you guys to realize this is something that any of us can be doing. This is an opportunity. This is an organization. This is a gathering. And the other thing that's important about the walk to us is this is actually something that is getting something done. Today we're your sponsor. Our commitment with starting this was, if we could essentially say we're going to give this much out of our pocket to keep the idea and the mission alive, then we know that it'll begin to cause other people to give, and other people to give their time, other people to give their ideas, other people to donate their money, their time. And what's happened with the Take the Walk campaign is people like you guys, many people that are here. I know there's people here that have organized their own walks, people that have organized and joined other people's walks. Literally, walks have been organized by people, not by us, but by people like you guys, from literally from London to Sydney to Rio de Janeiro, to Seattle, Chicago, all over the world. And it's just a gathering. But that $1 that we give as a part of this initial walk is to try and say that action is what matters, and action is what actually gets things done. And we really believe that what's going on in Africa is sort of a challenge for our generation. We are so stinking spoiled. And I'm talking to myself. We have so much. And it's not to feel bad about it. It's actually to say, you know what, we have so much, we have an incredible opportunity. Look at all the phones and the cameras that everybody has. I mean, everybody here has a phone, probably, except for the two in the stroller. And they're probably working on theirs. The phone is a way to reach people. The camera is a way to spread the word. You all are people you can influence. And what's going on in Africa, to me, is something that our generation will be judged by. When you know there's something going on, when you know there's an emergency that's taking millions of people that are the most vital to a whole continent's development and to the future of our economy, the way we exchange things, the way we trade things, and for that matter, we have this shrinking world where we can talk to each other. Something happens and instantly things happen around the world and people are aware of it. So the challenge becomes, when you know about something and you're aware that you can do something, you can do it. If you guys don't walk away with anything, at least you can know that you've encouraged us to continue what we're doing. Maybe you don't want to save, maybe you don't want to build a school in Africa, maybe that's not in your heart. But if anything, you guys need to recognize that you have probably better ideas than the stupid guy with the megaphone. You probably have more, you have people you can influence, you have people that you can reach, and real things get done when people decide to show up. And that's what you did today. So thank you for walking with us. I want to say special thanks to people that are walking barefoot. And because this is a live last walk, I'm gonna say one other thing about that. The barefoot idea is not for us. It's not just because we want to cause you pain in some sadistic way. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's for you. The idea that the invitation to take your shoes off is to understand what we're talking about here. We're talking about poverty. We're talking about the basic idea that you can't get food, water, medicine, education, things that we take for granted.
And yes, shoes.
And shoes. And shoes. And Tom's Shoes is a great example. They're one of the groups we worked with since '07. Many of you guys helped them reach their first goal to donate to Africa 50,000 shoes when we were walking here in Toronto in 2007. Their mission continues. They're about to have reached their millionth shoe given. Tom's Shoes. You guys, but you need to realize you were on the front lines with them. They were a small company that had an idea, and it turned into a movement, and it's grown around the world, and people now know about Tom's. A lot of people know that, you know, the Tom's staff, that company that now has reached about 1 million shoes. By the end of next year, they probably have sold 2 million, which means 2 million given. That simple little company was started by a guy from Texas named Blake. Not Tom. That shoe company, most of the people that are working inside of Tom's Shoes, interns and stuff, are Hanson fans. People that heard about Tom's Shoes and said, and went on a walk and said, I want to help that company, I want to show up. And their building is full of people that we met on these walks. Because people, maybe they were a walk fan, maybe they showed up and walked. But what happens when people decide to show up, they decide to put their ideas, their energy, and their passion, things get done. And when you guys are being asked to take your shoes off, for one, we do this every day. And the reason we do it every day is because we need to remind you. This is not about what we do one day, we do some big event, some massive thing where we go to get celebrities to come walk down a red carpet. This is about how all of us look at what we can do every day. In the grind, during the work week, while we're trying to make enough money to one day do something better or have a better life, this is what we do while that's all happening, not one day later. And thinking back to the story of how a lot of this got started, the first walk with Hanson, and I'm going to wrap this up. I'm reminded of the point about shoes, because when we first went to Africa after the first year that we helped Tom's, we went to deliver a lot of the shoes that they helped. You guys helped buy, a lot of you helped buy and donate. Since then, thousands and thousands of people have done this, but in that year, we went and delivered that 50,000 shoes. And in most of these cases, you would sit with people, kids that were 7, 8, 9 years old. Every day they walk 10 times what we're doing, and maybe they get one pair of shoes that they trade between multiple members of their family if they're getting to go to school, because they have to have shoes to go to school. And you've got to imagine that what you're doing, you're not walking for Hanson, you're not being asked to make your feet cold for some big cause because it's popular. You're walking for somebody that is 9 or 10 years old, that probably woke up today in, equivalent of a shack that has no access to clean water, no access to electricity. They probably have a younger brother or sister. They probably lost a parent or both parents, and they can't spell their name. Okay? That is who you're walking for. That's what we're doing. We're changing that person's scenario. And not because we're sitting around talking about Mormon fuzzy stuff and hoping money gets to people by sending it to a government. We're putting it in the hands of doctors, people that are building wells, drilling those wells, building schools, providing shoes. So don't worry about your feet for the rest of this half mile. Take your shoes off. Play ball. Okay? You guys ready to finish this walk?